All right, well, in these next few videos, what we're going to start to do is look at some of that substance and evidence that leads us to the conclusion that the Bible is, in fact, legitimate. So let's look at this first piece of evidence, and that is the uniqueness of the Bible. You know, there are a lot of spiritual books out there that claim to be from God, a lot of books that claim to have authoritative spiritual truth that has been revealed to spiritual leaders or prophets by God. And so the Bible is not unique in the sense that it claims to be from God, but it is unique in some very significant ways. And let's look just at a few of them. And one of the ways the Bible is very unique is in its authorship. You see, most of these types of spiritual books that claim to be from God are really just written by one person in one time and place, and it's really just one person's ideas or supposed revelation about God. But consider how unique the Bible is. The Bible is not written by one person, but in fact by a collection of over 40 different authors. And it wasn't written in one time and place. The Bible was written over nearly a 1,500-year period of time. That's 15 centuries. And the Bible was written on 3 different continents, and it was written in 3 different languages, Hebrew, Greek, and Aramaic. And it was written by rich people and poor people, young people and old people. It was written by kings and leaders and by peasants and servants. And yet, while the Bible has this incredibly diverse group of authors, what's amazing about it is how the Bible is absolutely unified in its message. There isn't a single meaningful contradiction in the entire Bible. It all works together with perfect unity, unfolding one redemptive story of God redeeming his people to himself. And that shows how amazing the Bible is, because just think about how hard it is to just get a few people in one time and place to agree on any controversial topic. It's very hard. With the Bible, you have all of these people coming together because they are inspired by a common Holy Spirit. So despite all this diversity, the Bible is perfectly unified. One other way the Bible is unique is in its character. Again, think about other spiritual books. Very often these books are written in such a way that they're really just trying to make their leaders and their authors look very good and trying to uphold the supposed leaders of that religion. But when you look at the Bible, what you discover, it's very unique because the authors of the Bible are incredibly transparent and honest about their failures and their weaknesses. They describe how often they fall short and how their people and their culture falls short. And throughout the Bible, you see all of these dramatic pictures of the sin of the great leaders of the Bible, and you see that all of their dirty laundry is hung out to dry. And again, that only lends to its credibility, because if man were just simply making up this book, they certainly wouldn't describe themselves in such negative terms at times. Well, one other way in which the Bible is very unique is in its ability to survive. Again, there have been many spiritual books throughout history, and most have come and gone. And after enough time, they all sort of fall apart under scrutiny and are ultimately dismissed. But the Bible has been able to stand the test of time better than any other religious book in history. And this is very unique because the Bible is much older than the vast majority of other religious books. And so there's been a lot more time and opportunity for people to scrutinize the Bible and for skeptics and cynics to try to tear it down and discredit it. And yet they've never been able to do it. And it's also unique because the Bible is very controversial. It makes some pretty radical claims. Ultimately, it says that the only way a person can go to heaven when they die is if they put their faith in Jesus Christ alone. And that's not a very politically correct or popular message. So again, people are very motivated to try to discredit this. And again, that's unique because many other religious books don't have anything that's very controversial in them. They just simply say a bunch of, wise type sayings that are supposedly from God. And so there's not really a whole lot of motivation to try to discredit it. But the Bible, because it makes such radical claims, people have been very, very motivated throughout history to try to take it out, but yet they've never been able to do it. And the fact that the Bible still stands today as the best-selling book of all time tells us something about its unique credibility. One quick story, it's interesting, there was a 17th century French philosopher named Voltaire who made a very bold prediction that within his lifetime, the Bible would be completely discredited and thrown out and that nobody would bother to read it anymore. Well, that was in the 1600s, but yet not too long after Voltaire made that claim, ultimately he passed away, and the great irony is that now the home where he wrote that very statement is actually used to print Bibles to this very day. So go ahead and take a minute and discuss these questions.